I don't think that we're going to be able to create a better world if we don't know how to love each other together and learn how to create an organic community where people are valued individually. I just see what's happening in Downtown Disciples as kind of a microcosm of what could and probably is happening all over the world, that this is a community that's life-changing, and that's the kind of world that I want to live in.
So I dreamed of a church that was more than a church, of a church that was a progressive faith community that was providing safe and sacred spaces for people to grow in intimacy with Christ and one another. I dreamed of a place where LGBTQ people didn't have to guess about whether they were going to be safe in loving God and loving their neighbor. So we began as a book club. We began in the Des Moines Social Club, downtown Des Moines, a growing, thriving community full of millennials, full of people who love Christ but have been disenchanted with the church. So we started at the Des Moines Social Club with a book called Saving Jesus from the Church, and people came.
I love Downtown Disciples. It's just a wonderful group of people. We care about each other. We're small enough to know each other, and we do good.
Downtown Disciples has given me a home in a lot of ways. I think it can be really hard to find in-person, in real-life community. And through Downtown Disciples, I've met such wonderful friends. I met my fiance at Downtown Disciples, actually, which has really given me a life I never thought I could have.
We read this book together, and then they wanted to read another book. So we read another book together and another book, and soon we were serving our homeless neighbors down the street. We were walking in the Pride Parade together.
Downtown Disciples has given me a real sense of community. We didn't interact a whole lot with downtown before, and since being with Downtown Disciples, we've participated in soup kitchens and fundraisers and all sorts of stuff like that. Pride Parade. I had never been involved with the Pride Parades until I joined Downtown Disciples, and it just opened up a new area for me.
Not that I haven't had friends in past communities, but these are really meaningful relationships where I can show up with all of me, and it's great.
And it wasn't long before somebody asked the important question, when are we going to worship? That's when I knew we've got a church. And I went to the denomination, back to the Upper Midwest region, and said, we're ready to worship. We need help. We need funding. We need support. And they said yes.
It might be interesting to some people that being an architect, I'm not interested in the architecture of the church building. In fact, we pay a very modest amount of money in rent for a building, and we meet in a couple of different locations. Our emphasis is on our mission.
I would say that Downtown Disciples is one of the few places I've encountered where the phrase "all are welcome" really is 100% true in such an authentically lived way. That as a member of Downtown Disciples, I find that I can bring my whole self and be loved and accepted for exactly who I am every time I'm there.
Well, one of the things that I love about Downtown Disciples in terms of leadership is that people who are LGBTQ are elevated to positions of leadership, and being queer isn't seen as something that hinders your gifts or hinders your talents or anything like that. It's just seen as even something that brings value to the community, which is incredibly affirming.
Aproximadamente hace 2 años estoy visitando la iglesia Downtown Disciples, en el cual he encontrado mucha ayuda espiritual, en el cual es un pequeño grupo que está ayudando a la comunidad necesitada.
I just can't express how important Downtown Disciples is to me, honestly. I grew up in the church and I had a good relationship with the church. A lot of our community members don't have that same experience, but this is different.
So in the past 3.5 years, We have been blessed to be supported by the Disciples of Christ in the Upper Midwest region. We are a growing, progressive faith community.
We are doing all of the social justice ministries. We have our homeless outreach program. We partner with a local nonprofit, JAPA, to bring all kinds of supplies to people in our homeless community. We partner with immigration oriented justice initiatives, so partnering with local organizations to advocate on behalf of immigrants and asylum seekers at the Capitol. We're very lucky to have members in our community and leadership in our church who are going to the Capitol regularly to fight for these issues that we really care about.
We are disciples together. Christ is the vine and we are the branches. We're all connected to the vine, but the branches are also connected to each other. And we're a young branch. We're a small but mighty branch. And we need the older, bigger branches. Just like when you were in your beginnings, you needed other branches. So we're asking you, disciples, to be disciples with us. Help us stay connected to the vine. Help us to bear fruit for Christ. Partner with us in being a progressive, LGBTQ-affirming, Black Lives Matter proclaiming disciple of Christ church. And when you do, you will be blessing the world.